LPE.AK going up against Rock and Roll. Nature Lover was a problem for him. And you know what? Hey, here's another problem for you to face today. LPE.AK, 79% win rate, 5 total picks. Of course, he's used Leroy, an undefeated Shaheen, and an undefeated Paul in the first 4 days of the national.
Exactly. In that week, a 1 win rate is absolutely astonishing at 79%. He did show a little bit of he did bleed a little in his previous day in the previous episodes, but right now I'm fairly sure that he's cooked his eggs, he's made his breakfast, he's ready to go at it. And talking about Rock and Roll, he had a difficult task in playing Nature Lover. Nature Lover, a lab monster, a coach, a player, a basic terror, right? But now you play against the king himself, the repeat champion of the Nationals.
The undisputed champion at the Nationals, champion of Conference 1, Conference 2, and season finale. 3-time champ, LPE.AK. What does he have in store for us today? I'm not really sure. I wasn't able to take a look at his social media account. Normally, meron siyang mga predictions na nilalagay or teasers that he put in his social media. Today, I wasn't able to see that. So, ayun, walaan natin yun. Let's see for ourselves kung ano yung ni-ready ni LPE.AK for us.
And surprisingly, he was a little more stoic than usual in the player cams. There, normally he's very animated, but I think he has something, a trick in his sleeve right now. Exactly, the signature AK wave, the signature AK pose, and of course the signature AK win. But again, Rock 316 was in full display in the first round of that previous match. Never count him out. He has a lot of crazy stuff, and he has the execution to pull it off.
Right. And look at that. AK brought out a lot of his characters. He even brought out Jack in the previous episode. He started bringing out Paul, which has been very effective and has brought him a lot of W's. I'm guessing he would still experiment for the next, at least for the next couple of episodes, because he's in a very comfortable position. He can afford to do that.
And that's the correct word for it. He can afford to experiment, because come playoffs, he has this switch that he just turns on. It's suddenly not the experimenting AK. It's suddenly the tried and tested, the very effective, and the absolutely crazy reads and crouch mix-ups AK.
That is the beast that we've been seeing. The AK that has been competing in the international scene, the AK that has won championship after championship, and it's a wonder to know that he can actually switch into that kind of mentality. From the kind of I wouldn't say happy-go-lucky, pero yung playful AK that we are seeing in the round robin part of the national, not the conference, and then biglang mag-switch to a killer mode. That is actually a wonder to witness.
But if you think about it this way, if AK was being playful in the first week with 70, like 70+% win rate, it's just crazy to think that that's not even his final form. He has so much experience under his belt, and as we mentioned, he is very young, but he has so much experience, just starting off at a very early age.
That is true, and you know what? That kind of attitude or that trait is one of the things that has brought him to AK with a Julia. Look at that.
Oh boy, I think Rock and Roll's kind of a little tired looking at this Julia, and I was like, come on, man. I've seen this. Are you really gonna do this to me again? But not to discredit Julia's, rather AK's Julia. His Julia is very, very impressive as well.
We've seen what his Julia can do in the, even in the previous season. He has used Julia.
Exactly, and his Julias have always gone for the more difficult combos. And speaking of difficult combos, Rock and Roll went for that instant forward one, but no dice there. Nope, poking away at AK, the guaranteed people's elbow will come. Oh my goodness, Rock and Roll ready for that low parry into the wall. What's for breakfast?
And there's the setup. What is he gonna do? One more hit for AK. Went for a jab. Made sure that there is no room for error.
Exactly. Jab, oh so reliable. +8 on hit, but the shotgun spins will counter hit, but Pehe can't pick it up, unfortunately. Rock and Roll, though, still trying to work on chipping away at AK. That DDT will definitely do the job, Ron.
And of course, here we go. Again, AK backing up a bit, trying to reassess his option. What is he going to do? Try to bait a magic 4. No dice, and again with the shredder kicks.
And I love this contrast between Nature Lover and AK. AK is a lot more reserved with his Julia right now. It seems like he's feeling it out. I love the wall carry by Rock and Roll as well. What's for breakfast again? Is he gonna serve the full meal, or is he just gonna back out and wait for the order? It's the shoulder to intercept the blue stuff.
Interrupted the rage drive, went for a shoulder tackle. Now AK not happy about it. Retaliates with a combo of his own. There's the wall combo. What's the mix-up? Went for the throw. Back 1-2 from Rock and Roll.
Oh my goodness, he tries to catch him on the ground here. Rock and Roll is slowly whittling. Wait, I love the reaction time on that. And into the muscle buster. AK is gonna be close to rage. Is he gonna go for the guaranteed back turn 3? But no, he goes for a spin here. Can AK Tekken?
No round brown win for Rock and Roll against AK. Now AK would need to start to think, tama ba yung decision ko? Was Julia a good pick? Probably trying to ride the mental pressure that Nature Lover implanted on Rock and Roll the previous match. Unfortunately, it wasn't as effective.
It wasn't. It does seem like Rock and Roll is a little more warmed up now. Considering he did play against Nature Lover, who is such an incredibly tricky Julia. I think this change of pace did favor Rock and Roll did get his first point of the day there. But now, AK, he has to this character he's gonna pick is going to be with him for the rest of the match. So maybe we'll see a Shaheen, maybe even a Fakumram. But this Fakumram hasn't been so good to him lately.
Yeah, he hasn't had much success. Maybe the Falcon Ram is not yet ready for an online setting, but he also has an Akuma, so that is also another option. But no,
okay,
let's go for another lady with a cat, the cat lady herself, Kazumi.
I wonder how it feels to have, like, as a Kazumi, right? You have your, of course, you have your tiger, and then you see a man in a jaguar mask roaring instead of talking. I feel like so this is the wonders of the modern age.
Let's see how AK would fare this time with a Kazumi pick.
And I would say Kazumi is probably an easier cover when it comes to that, but AK not making it easy at all as these pokes into the wall damage really adding up. Rock and Roll, he has to fight his way out of this one, otherwise it's gonna be a perfect, and yes, it is Ron.
The good thing about Kazumi is that it eases your mind from all those heavy executions. You get to concentrate more on the actual gameplay and movement.
Exactly, she's a very fundamental character, but she suddenly turns into a Mishima when she goes into the fly stance. We haven't seen AK do that. Instead, he's only been using it as a filler here. Rock and Roll, though, I love this patience coming from him, but the world's worst hop kick actually connects.
Is that even worse than Bob?
At least Bob has range. It doesn't matter as the fly 2 mix-up is gonna hit Rock and Roll.
That is indeed true. 2 rounds of AK. Still about to close out this match. What is he going to do?
Ooh, and the Hell Sweep gets read by Rock and Roll, and Rock and Roll is ready to party here, sending him to the wall. This is gonna be a great situation for Oki. My goodness, AK didn't actually break that. Going for a very ballsy wake up 3 there on.
Didn't make it to the wall. Comes AK again, the advancing warrior. What does he have in store for Rock and Roll? And there's the combo. He has rage. Will he be able to use it? No, he did not. Went for a mix-up instead. Wow.
And this honestly, the change of flavor between Julia and Kazumi, as you mentioned, it eases the mind, because Julia is like, oh, I have to shotgun roll to pressure, and oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have my lashing arrow mix-ups. Oh, I have all this. Kazumi is Again, not to discredit any Kazumi mains out there. Actually, you know what? I'm discrediting all of you, except AK. I'm kidding again. But Kazumi, the one jab's very effective. The down forward one, very, very strong. And just sometimes
and it's
less
actually
is
nerfed
more.
na. It's nerfed na. The original version of that is way worse. At least if you're the one receiving it. So, I mean,
Exactly.
that last hit by AK caught me by surprise. I was going to say instead. I saw King dead, so I said in dead. So yeah. And
Yeah,
really, these matches.
These matches indeed. And talking about the characters we've seen so far, we've seen Raven, we've seen Yoshi, we've seen a lot of the mix-up heavy characters. We've seen Leroy, who's essentially everything from a mix-up character to a fundamental character. We've seen the King, the Julia, and I love this change of pace by AK. It's like, you know what? Let's just shed all of that excess weight. Let's play with pure fundamentals, and let's stick with Tekken type of Tekken, you know?
And that is why we have a Kazumi right now. Rock and Roll still is yet to close out the match. Will he be able to figure out AK's Kazumi to close out the round with 2-1?
The thing about this matchup, especially on this stage, Rock and Roll can definitely outbrawl Kazumi when it comes to raw damage. But it's just Kazumi is such a quick character, you know. She has so much access. She has a lot of access to quick moves, like her again jab strings, her flash punch, down forward one, and just those things in general.
And actually, this is the stage that really goes in favor of Rock and Roll. All those breakable floors really would spell a lot of damage to the opponent. So, the question is, will he be able to utilize these floor breaks?
And that is the question. AK wants to deny this as early as he can, but the second low there gets blocked by Rock and Roll. Rock and Roll is still trying to go for a lot more space-oriented game here. That is -10 now. No. Did he just do that?
Yes,
I can't believe he just did.
And again with the mix-up. The no mix-up.
It's like, oh, King is +5. Yeah, okay, there it is. I don't even have to say anything. It's just gonna happen, guys. He breaks the floor. He denies Rock and Roll of that extra damage, even though it's super minute for AK. He goes for the jump in. He goes for the second one, but Rock's like, I'm gonna clip your legs.
Trying to go for a cross-up. Here comes Rock and Roll with his first floor break. Will he be able to take it to the wall? Yes, he did, but no damage. Went for a mix-up instead. Multi-throw. Will he be able to complete it?
Oh, he doesn't, and AK just escapes in time. He does have rage, so that while running 1+2, that rage drive gonna be super dangerous. Doesn't punish the chariot tackle there, but these down fours, they're chipping away. Rock and Roll. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god!
This round. Oh, Rock's like, you missed it, buddy. You missed it. Rock is feeling himself. Rock is so dangerous when he starts feeling himself, and he does have the balls to interrupt that third string here, but AK working on those legs, not ducking the second hit here, but my goodness, he's still going for it.
Remember the last time he did that pop off after the match? Nature Lover went back at him with a pop off of his own.
Exactly.
Remember, that is exactly what happened, and that is what's happening right now.
And AK, did you see how many lows he threw out that round? I felt like he was about to chop Rock and Roll's legs clean off. A big advancing warrior into the two here, to the wall as well.
And the delay of the hit of that tiger. Oh, look at that. There's a counter hit.
That's the first counter hit down back 3 we've seen from Rock and Roll here. Considerable damage and a good opportunity to pressure. He does escape the wall. He does finish the Crimson Dawn, but gets punished. Goes for the Unbreakable.
Oh!
I honestly thought that gut punch was gonna punish Ron.
Sure, it was quite slow, and the recovery of that throw from Kazumi could have gone for a quicker punish. Didn't commit. Oh my god! One more mix-up in the slide.
How does AK get away with all these hop kicks? He's thrown a hop kick for every situation. He's plus on block, or he's plus on it, I'm a hop kick.